Hey, I'm Amelia Mosley, and on today's BTN special, we're taking a trip to ancient Egypt. Here's what's coming up. Treasures from the tomb of the boy king Tutankhamen coming our way. And researchers find a perfectly preserved specimen. But first up, using technology like infrared scanners and tiny drones, researchers in Egypt are hoping to solve some mysteries of the pyramids that have kept them wondering for years. Take a look.
They're ancient wonders that have towered over Egypt for thousands of years. But even after all this time, there are still some things we don't fully understand about the pyramids. Servant person man!
Yes, Pharaoh?
I want you to build this for me.
What is it?
You know, it's a big block, triangle-y kind of thing. You can build it, and then I can put all of my stuff in it, and then when I die, you can bury me there.
Yeah, great idea.
The pyramids were built as tombs for Egypt's pharaohs more than 4,000 years ago, and they were filled with valuable objects like jewellery and gold coins, because the Egyptians believed they could take their riches with them after they died. And that's where things get interesting, because inside these ancient structures are rooms, tunnels and secret areas designed to protect the tombs and their riches. But in the thousands of years since they were built, heaps of thieves have broken in and stolen whatever they could find. That doesn't mean there's nothing left to discover though. Even after all this time, archaeologists are hopeful there could still be some secrets left to uncover.
Egypt's government teamed up with researchers from around the world to find out exactly what's inside them. It's a project called Scan Pyramids, and it used technologies like infrared, particle detectors, and 3D scans using lasers and drones to map 4 different pyramids.
Now Pharaoh, how am I actually supposed to make this triangle block thing?
Do you have any Lego?
Lego?
Doesn't matter. Do you think aliens might help?
Aliens?
There have been some pretty out there theories over the years, trying to explain how the pyramids were built. And yes, one of them is that they were put there by aliens. That's because building these massive pyramids can't have been easy. The Great Pyramid of Giza is made up of more than 2 million blocks, each weigh between 2.5 tons and 15 tons. Yep, that's a lot of big, heavy blocks to cart around. And while these days scientists have a much better idea of how they did it, they hope this study could explain once and for all how it was done. And maybe even lead to some other big discoveries too.
Just one more thing, Pharaoh. What do I do with this guy?
Well, maybe not that big.
What is the name of the big Egyptian statue that features a lion's body with a human head? Is it the hieroglyph, the Sphinx, or the Ramses? The answer is the Sphinx. Something very old, very valuable and very exciting will be coming to Sydney next year. It's an exhibition of treasures from the Tomb of Tutankhamen, who was an Egyptian pharaoh that lived more than 3,000 years ago. Check it out.
If you've ever wanted to go down as one of history's most famous faces, it would probably help if your face was literally made of gold. And you were already kind of a big deal, say an Egyptian pharaoh. This is King Tutankhamen, and for nearly a century, people the world over have been a little bit obsessed with him. King Tut lived 3,000 years ago, during a time period we call the New Kingdom of Egypt, even though it's obviously kinda old now. He took the throne at 9 or 10 and lived just a few short years, dying at 19. Archaeologists aren't exactly sure what he died of, but he probably had malaria and disabilities. Anyway, like other Egyptian pharaohs of the time, he was mummified. Most of his organs were removed, put in jars to bury with him, and his body was wrapped and preserved in oils and minerals. And all that was stuffed in a secret tomb. Apart from being a king, King Tut didn't do anything particularly exciting during his life, that we know of anyway. But the discovery of his tomb thousands of years later made him a superstar. See, in 1922, after years digging in the Valley of the Kings, an area many pharaohs and other important people had been buried, an archaeologist named Howard Carter discovered a set of steps.
I was struck dumb with amazement, and when Lord Carnarvon, unable to stand the suspense any longer, inquired anxiously, "Can you see anything?" It was all I could do to get out the words, "Yes, wonderful things."
Tombs like this weren't just filled with mummies and gross body parts in jars. They contained very valuable objects. The Egyptians believed they could take their riches with them after they died, but those riches made tombs a target for thieves. Despite that, robbers left a lot of King Tut's treasure behind, and people everywhere were blown away with what the tomb contained.
Within the chamber stood an immense sarcophagus of glittering gold, which is almost certain to contain the mummy of the king. Wonderful paintings, including that of a giant cat, covered the walls. A second chamber was crowded with priceless treasures.
There was some speculation his tomb was cursed. It started after a few visitors to the tomb died just months after entering it. Of course, they died from completely explainable causes, and scientists agreed that it's all basically nonsense. But it gave these news reporters something to joke about.
It's quite clear that in the 20th century it's very unlikely that some sort of curse like that could possibly persist, but it's... oh dear.
In 2020, Tutankhamen lives on. Well, not really.
But Australians will get a rare chance to see some of his treasures. Sydney is set to become one of just 10 cities to host the biggest Tutankhamen exhibition ever to leave Egypt. Unfortunately, it's not until 2021. The good news is, King Tut's not going anywhere. He's dead.
Did you know that ancient Egyptians removed brains from bodies before they were mummified? They actually didn't think brains were very important, so when a leader died, they scooped out his or her brains through the nose, then stuffed the skull with rags. Ew. Finally today, archaeologists working in Egypt have discovered something interesting. It's something that's been perfectly preserved for thousands of years. Can you guess what it is? Take a look. Buried deep within this ancient Egyptian tomb are dozens of mummies. Mummies of cats. Cat mummies. While they aren't the bodies of pharaohs or queens, the discovery of these really, really old creatures is pretty incredible. After all, they've remained hidden away and preserved for more than 4,000 years. You see, mummification was really important to ancient Egyptians because they believed in the afterlife and that you needed your body there. So when a rich or important person died, embalmers would treat their body with salt and oils, remove internal organs, except the heart, which they thought contained your soul, and here's the best bit, they'd pull the brain out with a hook straight up the nose. Ew. Then the body was wrapped in bandages and placed into a sarcophagus or coffin to sit for thousands of years. But I know what you're thinking. Why did they do all that to a cat? Well, ancient Egyptians believed cats were really important too. In fact, they thought they were divine creatures. Might be where they got the attitude.
Several Egyptian gods took the form of a cat, like Bastet. She was thought to protect the home from evil spirits and diseases. So cats became a religious icon, as well as pets. And coming back to that afterlife again, people believed they could take things with them when they died, so cats were often mummified too. Thousands of cat mummies have been found in Egypt over the years. But here's the thing, these newly discovered tombs held more than just that.
I would like to call it the necropolis of the sacred animals. Why? Because we found here cats, we found snakes, we found scarabs. Scarab is something really unique.
Yeah, and there was a crocodile.
So, sorry cats, you weren't the only divine creatures. All sorts of animals were considered pretty special because the gods took many different animal forms. It's not just about you.
The Egyptian Minister of Antiquities, aka the guy in charge of really, really old stuff, says they've also found a door to another tomb. They're hoping to open it up soon to find out what ancient secrets lie behind it. I, for one, hope for more cats.
All right, little kitty, time to go to the afterlife. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's gonna take a while. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Oh well, it's gonna be lovely. Lovely place. I think I'm gonna run out of bandage. Can I get some more bandages? And that's our look at ancient Egypt. If you'd like to find out more or would like teacher resources on this topic, then just head to our website. I hope you enjoyed the program and I'll catch you soon. Bye.